Happy Friday! The Knicks continue to cash for us. We got a huge show for you today. Let's talk some basketball. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I'm your host, Steven, and we're here to talk some more basketball, baby. TGIF. Thank goodness it is almost the weekend. That's right. We've had a pretty decent week on the channel for the NBA. 7-5, up 1.71 units on a little 13-7 run in the last 20. We'll take it. I wanted better. There were some games we could have had, but you know what? NBA is tough. So if you're 13-7 every 20 games, you're going to have a good year. But before we start anything on the video, I just want to give a quick shout out to the guy you probably already know, Austin, with Calling Our Shot for making it to ESPN. If you have not seen it, he has a little clip in Outside the Lines, the show that aired today or yesterday now. And the segment of it is on his Twitter if you want to go check it out. But we're all in this sports betting community together, and that was just pretty sweet to see. Me and Austin have talked before a few times. He's helped me when I first started the channel. Nice guy, and just really cool to see him on there. So just want to point that out. That's pretty cool. Anyways, Pebble Beach, the golf video. I just want to say it's only been one round, but the two players I picked to win the tournament, Patrick Cantlay at plus 1800 and Taylor Montgomery at plus 10,000, are in second and fourth place after the first round. There is such a long ways to go, but that's just a cool thing to see. Hopefully, they can continue it and be competing for that final round and get one of those guys gets me a winner. That'd be awesome. But if you haven't followed along, we do golf videos every single week. But we got a couple new Jabo MVPs. Let's pull them up. There they are, the two new members of the Jabo MVP. Welcome at Maya Interest 4172 and at Raitos Yo-Yo. Sorry if I butchered that, but thank you guys for joining. We really appreciate it. If our videos bring any value or entertainment or help you with your betting in any way, it's only $2.99 a month. Our Discord's free, everything else is. This is just to help support the channel, all the hours we put in, and you get some perks along the way, so it's a lot of fun. We appreciate those, you two, and the people that are already a part of the Jabo MVP Club. Let's get into some dad jokes real quick. I got one, and then I got one from a follower. So here we go. Mine. What state is known for tiny beverages? Minnesota. Ah, that's a pretty good one. All right, now from at the Bish 809. Here we go. I didn't want to believe my dad was stealing from his job as a traffic cop, but when I got home, the signs were all there. That's pretty good. Thank you for that one. I know some of you guys left some other good ones too, so I appreciate that. But in this video, we're going to recap the one-on-one day yesterday, and it's time for the big man centers day, defenses that give up the most points, rebounds, and assists to the center position. And then I got best bets, and then of course a Friday parlay. We are due for a winner, and we'll wrap it all up with the bets recap. So hit that like button, leave a comment below, and subscribe if you are new to the channel as we chase our first 21,000 subscribers. Some of you guys have been leaving some very nice comments the last few days about what these videos mean to you or when you watch them and all this stuff. I cannot thank you enough. I really do appreciate it, the support and all those comments and what you guys are saying. They do mean a lot and help us with our grind day in and day out. So I just want to say thank you. But anyways, let's get into it. And it starts with the recap. All right, a simple one-in-one day. The under 241 of the Pacers Knicks. The Knicks just keep rolling for us. That's 3 wins in a row on their game, 2 unders, and we bet them against the spread. Their defense just know how to stop people, guys. It's just simple as that. Especially at Madison Square Garden, they play in a slow pace. Still, Ananobi was out, and it did not matter. So that was a nice, very easy under win. And this Jazz game, my goodness. I was watching it, and the Jazz couldn't stop anybody. But you know what? When you bet on a team that's playing an opponent, and an opponent has a player that scores 51 points, sometimes you just tip your cap. And that's what Tyrese Maxey did. He scored 51 points. They couldn't stop him. No Embiid. It didn't matter. Jazz were up by 3, I think, with like a couple minutes left in the game. We had a chance, and then they just fell apart. Jordan Clarkson was just brutal tonight. He just was. He kept turning the ball over. He thought he was Superman. It was ugly, but either way, the Jazz lost. So it is a one-on-one day, 13-7 run. Last 2 days just have been even. That's just what they have been. But you know what? It's better than losing days. So overall record 117 and 106, up 11.14 units. Now let's get into some betting research and talk some centers. All right, we start out with the defenses giving up the most points to the center position, starting with the Spurs at 27.96 points. And the only other team giving up over 27 points the last 15 days is the Charlotte Hornets The only matchup we have for Friday is the Blazers taking on the Nuggets and Nikola Jokic, averaging 31.5. I left Embiid off this because he might be out for a while, and you guys know Embiid's the man, so you don't really need him in there. But I just wanted to leave him out so I could get an extra person in since he's injured. But other than that, usual guys on the right side. Sabonis has been playing well. Jared Allen, even with Mobley back, so on and so on. Brooke Lopez sneaks in at 16.4 points per game. But that's the points. Take a screenshot. Let's move over to the rebounds now, and we only have one matchup here as well. It's the Blazers taking on Jokic. Nobody different there. So he's averaging 13.3 rebounds per game. Blazers giving up over 15.5 per game. Sabonis, a monstrous 15.7 rebounds per game last 15 days. And then we got Wizards, Hornets up there again, Grizzlies, Thunder, so on and so on. So let's check out the assists now. And we got three matchups. How about that? Pacers taking on Sabonis. Sabonis is the man lately, if you can't tell. He is number one in rebounds and assists lately, averaging 8.5 per game on the assists, taking on the Pacers, giving up 6.15. And then we got the Pelicans taking on Wemby. Wembenyama Wet Bananas, averaging 3.9 assists per game. And then the other matchup in the final one, the Raptors taking on the Houston Rockets and Alperen Şengün, who's averaging 6.4 assists per game. Mini Jokic, I call him. That's just kind of who he is. Anyways, not as good as Jokic, just so you know. Don't leave comments that I think he is. He's definitely not. But those are the rebound or the points, the rebounds, and the assists given up to the center position. This is all within the last 15 days. Hopefully, this helps you guys get some winners. I know some matchups and different things from these sheets have produced some good winners that I've heard from people. So, anyways, that's the research help. Now it's time to get in to the best bets. All right, this first game takes us out to the land of the tiny beverages. We got the Minnesota Timberwolves hosting the Orlando Magic. T Wolves -7.5. Over under in this game is 212.5. ATS Magic 31-17 against the spread, 16-10 ATS on the road. They are one of the best against the spread teams, maybe the best actually. Now that I think about it, against the spread this season in the NBA. T Wolves 24-22-1 ATS, 12-8-2 against the spread at home. And then the totals Magic 26, 21, and 1 to the under. T Wolves 26, 22, and 1 to the under. So both very similar records to the under. I don't have a bet on this side, at least right here. I don't. But I have the same guy that we bet 2 days ago. We're going back to the well. Give me Franz Wagner over 3.5 assists at -120 on DraftKings. I have no idea what that accent was. I just felt like doing it. But like I said, it's the same exact bet as 2 days ago. But I am still going to talk about it a little bit in case you don't remember or missed it or anything like that. In that game 2 days ago, it's still over 3.5 assists, and we bet it. He had 5 assists on 8 potential assists that game. And some details now. He's playing big minutes again, like we talked about. He came back from injury, he had 2 games where he played limited minutes. Now he's back up to big minutes. So he's averaging 8.5 potential assists in his last 6 games, and two of those six were limited minutes. So when you look at potential assists, you assume a guy's going to get 50, maybe up to 60% or so of those potential assists into assists. Obviously, any certain game could be under that. I mean, it's the NBA. Anything can happen in one game. Your teammates have to make shots. But in the last 4 games with regular minutes, he is averaging a team high 10.8 potential assists, tied with Boncaro. That's right, a team high. So this guy handles the ball a lot. If he can get 9+ potential assists again, I love his chances to just get 4. I think this number's too low. I thought we'd see it at 4.5 at maybe even money, but the sports book just put it right back out at standard juice almost -120 at 3.5. So the only difference here is the matchup is different. The matchup is harder. It is not against the Spurs team like last time. They are playing the T Wolves, and they are one of the better defenses in the NBA, as we all know. So I'm going to give you guys all the information. But the assists obviously are a little harder to come by. I mean, that's a fact when you play a better defense. But this bet for me is all about the number and the volume. I mean, that's really what it is. It doesn't really matter who he plays almost. Um, the standard juice at 3.5 is just too low because even no matter who he plays, if he's getting 8 to 11 potential assists, you got to think he's going to turn 4 of those into assists. And it's kind of something you got to do every time. If you're seeing a guy get a ton of potential assists, and by the way, we track those on NBA.com, NBA player stats. You go to tracking and then passing. You can search how many games, and then you sort the column of potential assists, things like that. I know some of you guys have been asking, but assists, you need some luck. But when a guy's averaging this many potential assists, you just got to go with it. He's a guy that doesn't get a lot in the first quarter, so he'll play maybe half the quarter or so. And then when he gets in the second quarter, he's playing with the backups, and he's kind of the main guy to handle the ball. And you kind of saw that last game. He had 1 assist in the first quarter. Everyone, some people were kind of freaking out a little bit. and then he gets 2 or 3, I think, in the second quarter. And then he plays again in the fourth quarter with some of these guys. So there's different times of the game where he handles the ball more. But like I said, he has a team high in the last 6 games of 10.8 potential assists. So I'm going back to the well. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Give me Franz Wagner over 3.5 assists as bet number one. And before we get to that second bet, we got a brand new promotion to talk about with Bet365. There it is, Bet365. It is officially live in the state of Indiana for the eighth state now that has Bet365. We got some promotions to talk about here, guys. We got two of them. The one you see right there, you bet $5, you get $150 in bonus bets. You just place a $5 bet and you get those bonus bets no matter what, whether you win or lose. You got to use the link below that we have there. Just click that link, set up your account, and you get that one. But you also have an option for a second one. It's a first bet safety net up to 2,000. You place your first cash bet up to 2 grand. If the bet loses, you will have your wager refunded in bonus bets up to 2,000. So you go make $1,000 bet. If you lose it, oh well, you get it refunded to you. It's a heck of a deal, all the way up to 2,000. A first bet safety net. You have that, or you can choose the $5 and get $150 in bonus bets. It's a great deal, guys. It's unbelievable. Both of them you can pick from, but you got to use that link below. This is Bet365 thanks to our partnership with OddsShopper. Must be 21 years or older to gamble. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. All right, back to the bets. All right, this second bet takes us out to Memphis, Tennessee. We got the Grizzlies hosting the Golden State Warriors. Warriors minus 6.5. Total in this game is 223. I'm going to get right into the bet, but before I do, there are no exact odds on this one. We do these videos the night before late. I try my best to stay up as late as possible, but I got to get some sleep. But I do have a feeling based on the money line and where the points prop is for this guy I'm betting on, that this same game parlay should be about standard juice. So we'll see in the morning. Let me know in the comments if you want where this bet is at. Obviously, if it's minus 150, I'm not going to bet it or have to add something. But my best bet in this game is Jonathan Kuminga, 18 plus points, and the Warriors money line. That's right, same game parlay. Again, I'm expecting this to maybe be minus 110 to 130, right in that range. But let's start with Mr. Kuminga, 18 plus points. This young kid is playing well. He is finally getting playing time in the last 2 games, 39 and 43 minutes. I mean, he is playing a ton right now. He has scored 18 plus points in 7 straight games. His points prop is around 20.5, and that's why I think 18 plus the Warriors money line should be a standard juice for a same game parlay. But in these 7 games, I say that because that's when he's starting to get a lot more minutes. And his field goal attempts in these last 7 games, how about averaging a little over 16 shots per game in the last 7? I mean, great volume there. He played Memphis 5 days ago. He scored 20 points in that one. The Grizzlies giving up the 11th most points to the power forward position in the last 30 days. So a pretty decent matchup. Not great, not bad. And I just expect Kuminga to have another good game here. He can get to the rim well. And he just looks like a man possessed right now. He's got some games where he's scoring mid 20s. I like his over 20.5. Obviously, the Grizzlies like to slow it down, are a little bit better on defense. I'm going to play it safe with Kuminga 18 plus, but I don't mind his over 20.5. I think it is on most books right now. But anyways, that's the first leg. Give me Kuminga 18 plus points, more minutes, more volume, and he's been playing well. Next leg, Warriors money line. They need to get their revenge, and I think that's what it is, guys. They're not going to take the Grizzlies lightly. They just lost to them 5 games ago. Grizzlies are going to be without Luke Kennard, just for what it's worth, and of course all the other guys: Desmond Bain, John Morant, all the other guys that have been out for a while. In the last game, the Warriors lost. Gigi Jackson scored 23 points. Vince Williams scored 24 points. I think they jack up 50 something three balls. The Grizzlies did. And Steph and Clay were just okay. Clay didn't shoot a lot. They just didn't have a good game plan. I think they will have a better game plan here, a little more motivated. I need the Warriors to just stop turning the ball over. That would also help because when you play the Grizzlies, they struggle to score in the half court. Their offense is a bottom 5, bottom 3 offense in the NBA. But you know what? It helps when you give them easy buckets. So as long as they can continue to not turn the ball over, give them easy looks and fast break, make them score in the half court with these guys, that's where I think they have a chance. And obviously the Warriors do turn the ball over sometimes, so that is a worry, obviously. But they just have too much firepower. I think Steph comes out and has a big game as well as Kaminga. Kaminga didn't start that game. I expect him to start here, play big minutes, which should help. So I like the Warriors to win this game as long as they don't commit, 20 turnovers. But they need to get the revenge, got the motivation factor. I expect Kaminga, Steph have big games. So give me Kaminga 18 plus, the Warriors money line. Put it together at odds unknown. That's right. So stay tuned for that in the morning. I'll probably put it in the pinned comment as to what the odds are and where they are in the sports book. Again, if it's minus 150, I'm going to have to rethink this bet as well. But that's my second best bet. I will add a third best bet in the morning in the pinned comments. Right now, there's just not a lot out. There's a ton of sicknesses, a ton of injuries, a lot of blowout potentials. There's just a lot going on right now for Friday. But I still got one more thing to get to, and that's the Friday parlay. All right, I want a winner. Here we go. Three legs, Friday parlay, plus 305 on DraftKings, under 247 in the Kings and Pacers. Kawhi Leonard under 28.5 points. That's an alt line, and the Pelicans money line. Here we go. I'm just going to talk about each one briefly. Under 247, Kings and Pacers. I know this one is scary. I get it. And under in Indiana with the Kings and all that. But the Kings, we talked about this before when we bet the under for the Kings and Knicks games. The Kings are the number one under team on the road. Somehow they play defense and they like to slow the pace down on the road. 16, 7 and 1 to the under on the road. That is pretty impressive. Now the Pacers, we know they used to fly over the totals all the time, especially at home and all that, and they still have a up tempo offense and things like that. I'm not saying they can't score a lot of points, because they are 17 and 8 to the over at home, but but 6 and 4 to the under the last 10 games. I mean, this team is slowing it down a little bit, and also a big part of that is Halliburton. But Pacers are 5 and 4 to the under also on the second night of a back-to-back. That's right. They may not get up tempo as much on the second night, but like I said, 5 and 4 to the under on the second night. Kings are also not as fast as you would think. Since January 1st, they're 14th in pace. I mean, they are average, and when they go on the road, they slow it down even more. So we got a Kings team who is used to getting unders on the road. They don't play very fast, and then we have Mr. Tyrese Halliburton, the guy who runs the entire offense for the Pacers. Will he sit on the second night of a back-to-back? If he does, I think this is incredible value. But either way, we know he's on a minutes restriction, a very serious one because they don't joke around even in competitive games. He will only play a certain amount of games, and that really affects the ebb and flow of that offense. And their pace when Halliburton is off is definitely a lot slower. Benedict Mathurin is also questionable for the Pacers. He didn't play last game. This line is 247, guys. I'm not asking to go under 230 or anything. 247. We're almost at 250. We get some lulls on offense, especially when Halliburton's off the court. And we got the Kings, who are number one under team on the road. So give me the under 247 as the first leg. Second leg, I'll go a little quicker on this one. Kawhi Leonard under 28.5 points. His line is 26.5. I took it up to 28.5. I saw it on DraftKings. And just to be a little safer, if you want to take 26.5, you could. But a big reason I like this bet is the very high possibility of an absolute blowout. Clippers, 11.5 point favorites over the Pistons. Obviously, if there's a blowout, they are not going to play Kawhi Leonard much in the second half or fourth quarter. He's gone under this 28.5 points line in 11 of the last 14 games with Paul George on the court. That's right, 11 of the last 14, he has gone under 28.5 line. And, if it isn't a blowout, I don't love it as much, but obviously we can't predict that. I cannot imagine the Clippers not putting a beat down on this Detroit Pistons team. So I like Kawhi Leonard under 28.5 points. I just don't think he has enough volume or plays enough minutes in this game to get over 28.5. And the final leg, the Pelicans money line. I know you can roll your eyes. This team is hard to trust, but they're desperate to win. They're 2 and 4 in their last 6 games. Their losses, though, to those 4 games were to the Celtics, Bucks, Thunder, and Suns. They are now playing the Spurs, guys. It is a big step down in competition, as you all know. Keldon Johnson, Zach Collins, questionable for the Spurs. Zion Williamson, questionable for the Pelicans. They should be able to win this game whether Zion plays or not. Pelicans are 7.5 point favorites. I expect them to just take it to them. The Spurs rely on Wemby quite a bit. I think McCollum can have a big game here. I mean, the Spurs are a bottom three defense. This is a get right game for the Pelicans, in my opinion. And as long as they can somewhat slow down Wemby, we should be okay. If Keldon Johnson doesn't play, there's just not a lot of weapons on the Spurs team. So give me the Pelicans money line along with Kawhi Leonard under 28.5 points and the under 247 in the Kings and Pacers at plus 305 as the Friday parlay for Friday, February 2nd. And let's check out the bets recap. All right, the first bet, Franz Wagner, over 3.5 assists at minus 120 on DraftKings. And then we got Jonathan Kuminga, 18 plus points in the Warriors money line in a little same game parlay for odds that we don't know yet. We are waiting for the morning, but I do like that bet. And then the Friday parlay plus 305, under 247 Kings Pacers, Kawhi Leonard under 28.5 points, alt line, and Pelicans money line. Again, I will more than likely have an added play once the injuries and the sicknesses and everything kind of shake out. And that will be in the pinned comments on Twitter, sorry, X, and on Discord. So that's the show for Friday, February 2nd. I cannot thank you guys enough for the support this week, all the nice comments. Just keep hitting that like button, keep commenting. Let's keep growing. 13 and 7 in the last 20. I hope that we can just sweep the board today and sweep the board on Saturday. So, thanks again for watching. Appreciate it. Hope everyone has an incredible weekend. We'll talk to you soon.